I'm Takeshi and you're watching Kojima Racing. Okay, let's see what she's got under the hood. So, like I said, this is a 2000 F350 Super Duty, and in that era they had 3 engine options for the heavy-duty trucks, which were, I believe, a 5.4 liter gasoline engine, a 6.8 liter V10, and the 7.3 liter Powerstroke, which was made by International. So technically this is a International engine, but it is the 7.3 liter Ford Powerstroke. My opinion, probably the best diesel engine that they put in the truck in that era. Some people like the 6.0s quite a bit. I don't think that they're that great from the factory, but if you bulletproof them and build them up, they probably are pretty good, and they make more power than the 7.3 is probably capable of. These are just really good, reliable engines. You can build them up, you know, bigger injectors and a turbo and such, and, you know, or tuner, that sort of thing, and you can get a lot of power out of them still quite reliably. Maybe not as much as you could get out of a 6.0, but nonetheless, this is the venerable 7.3 liter Powerstroke, and that's how I feel about it. It's my personal choice for a diesel powered rig. So this truck only had about 136,000 miles on it when I got it. So I feel like it was quite the steal, because these engines regularly go easily 200,000 miles. This one had a chip on it. I took it off because I want to have a more integrated system if I'm going to do any kind of modifications to it. Made a good amount of power, but I think it was especially too much for it, because when I got the truck it had an automatic transmission, which we'll get more into that in a little bit. I had to replace the battery terminal wire, which you can see here in the conduit, and it goes up over the radiator, between the radiator and the core support, and it goes to the other side, just because whoever had it before me, they just had everything under the sun hooked to the batteries in this thing, and it was just a wiring, you know, rat's nest, complete mess. So I had to replace those, and then I put in these Optima red top batteries, which I think they're quite good. I like them quite a bit. The only drawback that I found with the Optima batteries is that if you run them dead, they're pretty hard to get to come back, if at all. Otherwise, I've had nothing but good experiences with them so far. Used to live by interstate batteries. I still have some interstate batteries in some of my other rigs. This truck, I just want it to be super reliable, because it is one of my business trucks. I use this truck for my pest control business. That truck over there, which we'll do something on that as well, because I do test out quite a few parts on my work trucks. You know, like I can do a review on these fancy tires, which we'll get to that later, but that is my general pest control truck. That's what I do most of my pest control services with. This is my termite department truck, so I use this for termite treatments, which is more kind of construction oriented. So I have a portable spray rig that I can put in it, and then, you know, of course, all my tools and such to haul to the job site to do termite treatments. And so it's got to be a good, reliable rig. The automatic transmissions that came in these year trucks were garbage, in my opinion. It's a 4R100 automatic transmission. They have a really bad reputation. When I bought the truck, I thought, well, it's low mileage, it'll probably be good. I had to make a trip over the coast, and I was pulling a 26-foot tow-behind trailer, and I thought, yeah, you know, maybe I should do something to make sure that the transmission survives the trip. And then I had intended on swapping the transmission out already. prior to this event, in fact, when I bought the truck, I had already procured a ZF6 6-speed manual transmission because I wanted to have a manual truck to begin with. And so, you know, I always knew I was going to swap the transmission in this truck anyway when I first got it, and, you know, knowing that it had that 4R100 automatic transmission. So, but regardless, you know, I dropped the pan, and a buddy of mine helped me to, you know, change the filter packs and change all the oil in it and everything like that, and checked it all out. Everything seemed like it was just fine. Towed over to the coast. It did fine all the way over, and the entire time I was on the coast. And then when I was coming back, it dropped the transmission on the highway about half of the way back, and so that ended up being a complete nightmare trying to get, you know, this big truck and my 26-foot tow behind trailer back here. But regardless, it has now been ZF6 swapped. So the ZF6 6-speed transmissions are good, solid transmissions. They have a granny first gear, and then it's almost like just a sequential 5-speed otherwise. And so if you're not loaded, you can start off in second, which actually the gear shift label, or the gear shift, is labeled as L or low for first gear, which is that granny low that I was describing. And so then second gear is actually labeled first. So first, second, third, fourth, and then overdrive. But so I'll post up pictures of the swap process, just a few pictures of the swap process, and then later on I'll do an entire tutorial video on how to manual swap these trucks, because typically the luxury trucks that had the leather interior with the heated and cooled seats and all the nice accoutrements, they came with an automatic transmission. So the ZF6 was kind of a rare option, and a ZF6 backing up a 7.3 with a dually 4x4, even more rare. And then getting to a 7.3 liter Powerstroke Lariat LE, especially, even more so rare. None of the Lariat LEs came with a manual transmission, so hence the name Duallicorn, because this is going to be an extremely rare combination, even though it didn't come from the factory that way. And it's just what I've always wanted, so it's kind of a unicorn of a truck in that sense, and it's got duals, so I named her Duallicorn. Otherwise, like I said, it's got a 4-inch lift on it, rides like a 2x4. So I tried to rectify that by getting these nice Fox 2.0 smooth body reservoir series shocks. They have a separate reservoir, which, putting them on there front and back, it really helps the ride on this truck quite a bit. So you can see we've got those dual reservoir shocks underneath on the back as well, but still having lift blocks in it is kind of hampering its ride quality, and means that it's a luxury type truck. I want to try and rectify that. So my intention is to get the I believe it's Rough Country makes a soft ride progressive spring for these, that I can swap the springs out to get the same about 4-inch lift and leveling out of it, and hopefully improve the ride considerably. With those Fox shocks, it also came with didn't come with, I ordered a Fox stabilizer, which I haven't put on it yet because I intend on replacing all the drag links and ball joints and everything under it, and just basically rebuilding the front suspension on it. And so I'll do it all at the same time. I'll put springs on it, the soft ride springs. I'll rebuild the front suspension and put the stabilizer, the Fox stabilizer, on it, and hopefully that'll increase the ride quality and and basically you know, it should clear the tires a little bit better, because these do occasionally rub when you go over bumps as well. I think the block kit is actually like a 3.5 front, and so the spring kit is, I believe, a 4-inch in the front. So that'll make a little bit of difference. Otherwise, you know, I'm not sure that there's really anything else that I could do to improve the ride quality of the truck. You know, it's like I said, it is what it is, though, because it's a heavy duty. So I've towed a mini excavator with 2 yards of sand in the bed, and it maybe squatted at about 2 inches. So I probably wouldn't be able to do that with the progressive soft ride springs on it. So I'll probably put airbags in it as well when I do the spring swap on it, and so and that'll keep the truck nice and level. And that's pretty much it. So there you have it. That's all the mechanical on this truck. So if you're interested in this kind of content, like and subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll have quite a bit more truck content. We'll do a walk around on that truck, and we'll have all kinds of fun stuff going on the channel.